Now you're in Dowdun Reach, where combat starts becoming much less forgiving. Up till now, you could have gotten away with the simply just having better gear. But from this point forward, understanding enemy attack patterns and weaknesses, and using the right consumables, becomes just as important as your equipment. The enemy hits harder, dragons become far more common, and the bosses begin demanding proper preparation. If you follow this progression series so far, you're in a great position to tackle everything this region has to offer. So let's start with the best melee setup. Melee players have two options available in Dowdun Reach: the Mithril Armor Set and the Black Knight Armor Set, which can be purchased from Postie's Evil Emporium. Both armor sets provide identical stats, so your choice comes down to whichever appearance you prefer. Continue wearing any cape that provides that +2 perk bonus, as it's still your best option. For weapons, if you're bringing Amari's Talon from Fellhollow, it's perfectly fine to keep using that. Its fast attack speed combined with the life ward healing on each kill makes it incredibly effective against the majority of enemies you'll encounter while exploring Dowdun Reach. However, if you completed Dork's quest back in Fellhollow, your next priority should be crafting the zombie axe, even before upgrading it through the masterwork system. It's arguably one of the strongest melee weapons in the game. Because it deals both slash and crush damage, you no longer have to consistently swap weapons to match enemy weaknesses, making combat much more smoother throughout this region. For your shield, upgrade to a mithril shield as soon as possible. This will comfortably carry you through Dowdun Reach. If you'd rather have something with a bit more style, you can purchase the Black Knight shield from Postie's Evil Emporium, which provides the same stats but a different appearance. For your trinket, continue using the Amulet of Strength. If you're jumping into this guide series now, you can still head back to Fellhollow and purchase that required visage from Death Exchange for 350 soul fragments if you haven't already. Your consumables should also remain largely unchanged. Continue using lesser attack potions and whetstones for their significant damage boost, while pairing your weapon with either air enchant or fire enchant depending on the enemies you're fighting for even faster kills. While exploring the region, begin farming the materials needed to craft anti-fire potions. You won't need them immediately, but they'll become essential towards the end of your time in Dowdun Reach and continue being valuable well beyond this region. For food, upgrade to glazed pumpkin sandwiches. They provide 100 substance and 80 health, and an incredible collection of perks. Knowledge Nourishment, which grants you 10% experience boost, Soul Food, which provides that extra passive healing, and Foreman's Feast, which reduces stamina consumption while mining and woodcutting, making one of the best all-around foods available. You can find this recipe near Zanuck. Finally, upgrading your gathering tools to the full mithril set as soon as possible. Faster gathering means less time collecting resources and more time progressing through each region. Once you've completed the main quest, it's time to ascend the tower to challenge the Black Knight Titan. Your melee loadout should look exactly like what's on screen. Let's talk about it. Wear either the Mithril or the Black Knight armor set, equip that Mithril shield or a Black Knight shield, and pair it with a zombie axe and your Amulet of Strength. Before entering the fight, make sure you've used a lesser attack potion applied with a whetstone to your zombie axe, and an enchant it with an air weapon enchant. These extra buffs make a noticeable difference during the encounter. I'll have a dedicated Black Knight Titan boss guide releasing soon that covers the fight in much greater detail, so keep an eye out for that. For food, bring glazed pumpkin sandwiches to take advantage of the passive healing and the additional perks through the encounter. For your drink, continue using ferocious infusions. Its reduced stamina consumption lets you keep swinging your weapon longer before needing to recover, making it the perfect pairing for melee throughout Dowdun Reach. That wraps up melee progression for Dowdun Reach. Now let's take a look at the best setups for ranged players. If you've been following this progression series so far, range gets one of the biggest upgrades in Dowdun Reach now. While there are only 2 armor sets available, the real power spike comes from one weapon, the Dorgeshuun Crossbow. This crossbow is one of the strongest weapons now in the game, and definitely worth ascending. Your priority should be crafting blue dragon hide armor sets. Later on, if you're looking for a different appearance, you can unlock the shadow armor set as a cosmetic alternative. Both sets provide the same stats, so the choice is purely based on which look you prefer. As always, continue wearing any cape that provides that +2 perk bonus. For weapons, it's finally time to retire the steel crossbow. If you completed the Even More Restless Ghost quest back in Fellhollow, you can craft that Dorgeshuun Crossbow. After the latest update, it's arguably one of the strongest crossbows in the game, and is absolutely worth ascending later on in your adventure. For long-range combat, continue using Ulf's longbow, but upgrade your ammunition to mithril poison arrows. The added poison damage helps wear down tougher enemies while allowing you to safely eliminate targets from a distance before they can reach you. For your shield, upgrade to the Mithril Shield as soon as possible. If you'd rather have a different look, you can later purchase the Black Shield from Postie's Evil Emporium. Just like the armor, both shields provide identical stats, so the choice comes down to cosmetics. For your trinket, continue using Amulet of Accuracy. If you're just joining us in this progression series, you can always head back to Fellhollow and purchase the required visage from Death's Exchange to unlock it. For food, upgrade to the Glazed Pumpkin Sandwich once you've found the recipe near Zanuck in Dowdun Reach. Between Knowledge Nourishment, Foreman's Feast, and Soul Food, this becomes the best all-around food for exploration, providing excellent healing, passive bonuses, and extra experience while your progression through this region. For your drink, continue using Relentless Infusions. Since you'll be firing your crossbow consistently, the reduced stamina consumption lets you stay in the fight longer before needing to recover. Finally, upgrade your gathering tools to the Mithril Pickaxe and Mithril Logging Axe as soon as possible. These upgrades make gathering the large amount of materials required in Dowdun Reach much faster and more efficient. Once you've completed the main quest, it's time to challenge the Black Knight Titan. Your range loadout should already be complete. Your armor, weapons, shield, and Amulet of Accuracy will all stay the same, along with your Glazed Pumpkin Sandwiches, Relentless Infusion, and Mithril Tools. The only thing you'll want to remember before entering this fight are to cast Tempest Shield for the additional defense and bring a few anti-fire potions along the way. Those two additions will dramatically improve your survivability during the encounter. I will have a dedicated Black Knight Titan range boss guide coming soon that covers the mechanics and strategy in much more detail later on. Now that wraps up range progression for Dowdun Reach, let's take a look at the best setups for magic users. Magic continues to scale incredibly well in Dowdun Reach, with several powerful weapon upgrades becoming available while your armor focuses more on style and stats. Let's take a look at the best setups before taking on the region's final boss. While exploring Dowdun Reach, you'll have two armor sets available. You can craft the Mystic Mage set, or you can purchase the Zamorak set through Postie's Evil Emporium. Both armor sets provide identical stats, so your decision comes down to whichever look you prefer. Continue wearing any cape that provides the +2 perk bonus, as it's still your strongest option. For weapons, your first priority should be crafting the Maple Battlestaff as soon as possible. It is a substantial upgrade over your previous staff and should become your primary weapon throughout the region. As you continue your adventure, keep an eye out for the quest What's Theirs is Mine, which unlocks the recipe for the Zamorak staff. You should also make it a priority to obtain the Subjugation staff, either by finding the recipe visage in a random chest throughout Dowdun, or purchasing it from Postie's Evil Emporium. This staff performs exceptionally well against lesser demons and the Black Knight Titan, making it one of the most valuable upgrades in the region. For your trinket, continue using the Amulet of Magic. At this stage of the game, it's still your best overall option without sacrificing any health. For consumables, continue carrying lesser magic potions and magic focuses. Together, they provide a massive increase to your spell damage and critical hit potential. While exploring, you could also begin gathering the materials needed to brew those anti-fire potions, as they become essential for the region's final boss. For food, continue using glazed pumpkin sandwiches that you found near Zanuck, giving you an excellent healing passive regeneration, bonus experience, and gathering benefits all in one meal. Your drink should remain the Arcane Infusion, allowing you to cast more spells before your stamina is depleted. Finally, making the upgrade to Mithril Pickaxe and the Mithril Logging Axe as a priority as well. These tools will make gathering the large amount of resources needed in Dowdun Reach much faster and prepare you for the next region. Once you've completed the main quest, it's time to face the Black Knight Titan. Your loadout should already be complete. Your armor, staff, magic amulet, glazed pumpkin sandwiches, arcane infusions, lesser magic potions, and magic focuses all will remain exactly the same. The only thing you'll need to remember before entering the fight is to activate Tempest Shield whenever possible, and bring a few anti-fire potions. Those two additions will greatly improve your survivability through that encounter. I'll be releasing a dedicated Black Knight Titan magic boss guide soon that covers mechanics, positioning, and strategy in much greater detail. Alright, that wraps up the complete best in slot progression guide for Dowdun Reach. Whether you're playing melee, ranged, or magic, you should now have everything you need to confidently begin exploring the Umbral Sands. The next guide in this progression series will cover the best gear, upgrades, and progression through Umbral Sands. So stay tuned if you're following along region by region. If you're looking for other Dragonwilds players to group up with, share builds, or ask questions, be sure to join my Discord community, Thurnax Enclave. We're always happy to help new and veteran players alike. If this guide helped you out, don't forget to leave that like and subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming Umbral Sands progression guide, future boss guides, and future Dragonwild content. This is Thurnax, and I'll see you on the next Dragonwilds guide.